Keeper of the Lost Cities, Neverseen, Chapter 32. Sir Aston, Sophie repeated, as in, my level 2 universe mentor? That would be me, yes. She tried to picture Mr. Forkle looking young and pale with long blonde hair, but her brain refused to cooperate. His new whispery voice did sound awfully familiar, though. How else do you think you got assigned the list of stars to find Elementine? He asked. The room tilted sideways. Or maybe that was Sophie. She needed to sit. That universe assignment had changed everything. She went from being the slightly weird human girl to Project Moonlark. She'd also had to face a tribunal, and the council had ordered her to keep a memory log, and she'd had to be described by Councillor Tarek, and... Wait, Sir Aston testified that the tribunal, that the list for that assignment were given at random, she argued. Of course I did. I couldn't exactly say, I'm with the Black Swan, and this is part of our plan. This is what I mean, Miss Foster. Disguises require lies. I had to be so careful of every word I spoke to you, every gesture I made, to be sure I didn't remind you of this. He waved his arms around his Mr. Forkle-shaped self. You'd just spent so many years seeing me every day, I knew the slightest cue might trigger a connection. And up until that universe assignment, your mind had been so sweetly unsuspicious. I was there simply to build your confidence as you struggled to adjust to life at Foxfire. Wasn't my session one of the few you didn't worry over? It definitely had been. But Sir Aston was surprised when I showed him the bottle of quintessence. Well, yes, because I never thought you'd bring it to Foxfire, or carry it around in your satchel, letting it be shaken and jostled all day. It's amazing you didn't blow the school to pieces. That was when I learned to never make assumptions about what you'll do. I'd foolishly figured you'd run straight to Alden, just like I'd figured Mr. Disney would have you two wearing protective gloves. Proper Starlight bottling procedure. Instead, you burned your hands and called for Elwyn. Then you showed up to your session and popped the bottle on the table. Of course I panicked. I knew I'd have to report to Dame Melina, and you'd face a tribunal and all kinds of consequences you could have avoided if you'd just gone to Alden. Oh, Sophie stared at her hands, remembering the burns. So, you really were Sir Aston? I still am Sir Aston. Mind you, he's taking some time away from Foxfire now that you're a level 3, but as far as our world is concerned, Sir Aston is off mapping stars. Sophie wasn't sure if she wanted to laugh or cry. All that time she'd spent wondering about him, and he'd been right there, teaching her for 2 hours a week. So, should I call you Sir Aston now? She asked. I'd prefer if you didn't. It's easier to compartmentalize my life. When I'm here, I'm Mr. Forkle, though you are welcome to tell the others. Oh, I will. Even if part of her still struggled to believe it. She kept replaying her universe sessions, searching for any clue that might give him away. But there were none. He'd played his role perfectly. Are you satisfied now? Mr. Forkle asked. Satisfied wasn't the right word. It all felt a little anticlimactic. She'd asked, he'd answered. He hadn't even taken one of those calaberries and morphed into Sir Aston, and she couldn't think of any of the slips he'd mentioned earlier. Is that your only identity? She asked. Or are there others? Sir Aston is the only one I'm willing to share. How many are there? He sighed. One for my actual life, another for a role I've taken on, another for the fertility doctor I played to your human parents. I couldn't be their doctor and their next-door neighbor, after all, but I'm assuming you already guessed that. She nodded, even though she hadn't really thought about it. Yet another layer of weirdness to her life. And that's all I'll say for now, Mr. Forkle said firmly. Can you accept that? Sophie studied his eyes, still not seeing Sir Aston staring back at her. You're not Alden, right? Mr. Forkle laughed. Even with every elixir ever made, I could never be that handsome. He had a point. What about Tiergan? Her telepathy mentor had always been a mystery, and he'd been close with Prentice. You can stop guessing. Even if you get it right, I'm not going to tell you. So that's a yes, then, she pressed, not sure what she'd do if it were true. I am not Tiergan, and that is the last thing I'm going to tell you. No, you have to at least tell me if you've met the other yous. I most certainly do not. We've talked enough about me. It's time for you to share. Can I see Kenrick's cash? Sophie's palms turned sweaty as she handed him the marble. I can't believe you're carrying it in your pocket, he said. What am I supposed to do with it? That's what we must figure out. He held it up to the light. Orly was very brave to give this to you. Sophie swallowed a lump of guilt. What do you think her punishment's going to be? It's impossible to know. She's crossed a line that has never been crossed, but she knew when she gave it to you, so I'm sure she's prepared. Orly is far cleverer than you know. It's easy to underestimate the quiet beauties. Ain't that the truth? Keith said, striding into the room. You are many things, Mr. Sensen, but quiet is not one of them. So you're saying I'm a beauty? Mr. Forkel scowled. We're trying to have a private conversation. Then you shouldn't have it in a common room. Keith flopped into one of the boulder beanbag chairs, propping up his feet. And by the way, Sir Aston, how'd you pull off being a mentor while you were living next to Sophie in human land? That's a secret I'm not willing to share. Keith got up and circled Mr. Forkel. I bet if I really think about it, I can guess the other yous. I thought you had a project to work on, Mr. Forkel reminded him. Something to do with a memory. Yeah, it wasn't what I thought it was. He tried to shrug it off, but his fists were clenched. Besides, I thought I should go be a good friend and check on Fitz. Do not go in there. It's pretty much the great Vacker Hurlfest. Every time Fitz spews up black gunk, it makes Biana barf, and then Della loses it, and repeat. Does that mean he's getting worse? Sophie asked. Actually, he looks pretty good. You know, when he's not gagging up bug venom. He's awake now, and he's got some color back in his cheeks. But I couldn't stick around. I don't know how Dex is doing it. It's remarkable what one can withstand when they feel they must punish oneself. Mr. Forkel rolled the cash around in his palm before giving it back to Sophie. Protecting this is your responsibility now, and you must take it as seriously as the counselors do. They swear on their lives to never let it out of their possession. But I thought you didn't want me carrying it around. I don't. You haven't tried to access the secrets in the cache, have you? Sophie shook her head. Good. Do not attempt it. I couldn't tell if Orly was bluffing when she suggested that Kenrick made a way for you to open it, but her reasoning makes sense, and trust me when I say you do not want that responsibility. There are reasons the counselors erased these secrets from their mind. Are the secrets the same in every cache? Sophie asked, wondering if any involved the Dracostomes. That would explain their reaction when she'd mentioned giving it to the gnomes. The council divides the secrets up to ensure each of them are only responsible for protecting a portion. This cache contains 7. Okay, but here's what I don't get, Keith jumped in. How does it help to forget about something? It's not like it makes it go away. Sophie had been wondering the same thing. It was like an ostrich hiding its head in the sand. Some of the secrets are removed for the counselor's self-preservation, Mr. Forkel explained. Ruling the world is full of impossible choices. Sometimes they must act in ways that would shadow them from guilt, so they erase it from their minds to spare themselves the agony. But they are also secrets that would send the planet spiraling into chaos if they ever came out. The safest option is to ensure no one knows about them. He stared longingly into the cache. Never let me have this. The temptation is too great. So, what do I do with it? Sophie asked. I'll have to enlist the aid of a trusted conjurer. In the meantime, the cache must not leave your possession, and you will not leave this hideout. Is that clear? But I have to go to Exilium. No, you don't. You're in hiding, he reminded her. The council could hardly force you. But I want to go, Sophie argued. So do I, Keith jumped in. I'm tired of being cooped up in this hideout all day. You mean you're tired of being safe? Mr. Forkel asked. Tired of training and improving your abilities? Pretty much, Keith said. Most of our training was preparing us to rescue Prentice, Sophie added. And now we've done that. Well, we've almost done that. He'll be rescued tomorrow morning. Meanwhile, we still don't know what the Neverseen are doing with those trees. And we're about to hand Gethin over. Not a good trade, by the way, Keith interrupted. It was, actually, Mr. Forkle told him. We've learned all we can from Gethin. Plus, the council is not without their talents. Why not let them try their hand? Anything they learn, we'll be able to recover. Okay, but my point, Sophie said, getting back to her argument, is that with Gethin gone, Exilium is our best chance to discover more about the Cyanopath. Someone has to remember something about him, or if not, we'll learn about the neutral territories. Mr. Forkle rubbed his head, leaving red marks from pressing so hard. All I can promise is that we will discuss this matter with the collective. That usually means yes, Physic said, making everyone jump as she swished back into the room. He knows the collective never rejects his ideas. Why else do you think we have these stupid code names? Well, now we know one of his identities, Keith said. He told you he's Sir Aston, Mr. Forkle jumped in. And nice try, Mr. Sensen. No one will be revealing any of my other identities, accidentally or otherwise. Physic will also not be revealing hers. Did you get the ingredients for Mr. Vacker? He asked her. Physic held up a palm-sized white jar. It wasn't easy. My usual apothecary was closed, so I had to go to the Hex's unicorn preserve. Why didn't you tell me the plague had spread to the Starkville Valley? Mr. Forkle looked pale as he mumbled, I wasn't aware that it had. Wait, isn't that where the Lake of Blood is? Sophie asked. It is, Mr. Forkle said. But it's a large valley, and the Lake of Blood is on the other side. So I'd better check on Siorler and Mitya. He pulled his crystal from his cloak and turned to Physic. You can handle things without me? Don't I always? She offered Sophie a hand as Mr. Forkle leaped away. Come on, let's go finish healing your friend.